trucks and trikes. A lot of times when people ask us what we've been up to, my answer is usually breaking stuff, because that's the truth. We break a lot of stuff, but we fix it and we keep going. So you don't know what you don't know, and if you don't live by that motto, you should, because that's what keeps you being open to learning new stuff. The other day I learned that I didn't have all the resistance on the spark plugs correct for the bikes. And I had no idea. Electrical is not one of my strong suits at all for bikes or for trucks, and sometimes projects that hold me up are electrical. It turns out you're supposed to have, between your spark plug and your spark plug boot, you're supposed to have 5 ohms of resistance in your system. And back in the day, the spark plug boots had 5 ohm resistors in them, and the spark plugs did not. And then over the years, for the bikes, over the years they changed things to where the boots didn't have resistors in them anymore, but the spark plugs did. They started putting resistors in the spark plugs, which is where you get the plugs that have the R letter in them. And since our machines are from 1980 whatever, for the most part, we have some newer stuff, and some of our parts are from 1980 whatever, and some of our parts are new and Chinesium and from eBay or phone a friend who still has one on a shelf or whatever. We have a various collection of stuff, and Honda was really good about making stuff that fits on numerous bikes. So when something breaks, we dig through our part bins and say, what do we have that'll fit, even if it's not off the right bike, because again, parts fit more than one bike. So over time and age, spark plug boots crack and sometimes rip in half. Like for instance, the other day I replaced the boot on my TRX because the boot literally ripped in half, which doesn't do you any good when your spark insulator is not insulated and makes all kinds of problems. So what I didn't know is that some of the boots that we had resistors and some didn't. So when I figured that out, we decided to test stuff. The TRX, everything had a resistor plug in it. The TRX had a boot on it that did not have a resistor on it. So between the resisted plug and the non-resisted boot, we were running at 5 ohms of resistance, which is great. This guy accidentally had a resistor boot and a resistor plug, so we were running at 10 ohms of resistance by mistake. Didn't mean to, just again, you don't know what you don't know. So got a non-resistor plug and put it in here to go with the resistor boot. I could have gone the other way. I could have changed the boot to one of the other boots we had that was a non-resistor and then just continued with my resistor plug. Either way, it would have been fine. But I just went ahead and there's not a lot of clearance from the backbone to the top of the cylinder on this, and the boot that we had fit nice, and I was able to get it in and out without disassembling things, which is why I wanted to keep that boot in there. So put a non-resistor plug in here, which going from 10 ohms of resistance to 5 ohms of resistance is a hotter tune. So Logic told me that the tune, it was going to be hotter, leaner, needed more fuel. Well, it's raining, we're in Washington, and it was starting to rain when we were trying to check the tune on it, and the tune seemed okay, because last time it was a little bit fat, so we're taking that into consideration. But at our house, if you've seen in some of the other videos, the test strip that we use is loose, loamy dirt. So when you're trying to make a test hit, you're just spinning your tires the entire time. And that doesn't create a lot of load on the bike. It creates some, but not the same as when you are hooked up on clay and actually have traction. The load on the motor is not the same. So the motor works a lot harder when you're hooked up and have traction. So doing a test and tune on loose, loamy dirt is only a little bit better than sitting still and having it revving in neutral. I mean, it's better, but it's not as good. So we did the best that we could in the rain and on the loose, loamy dirt. And I told Paul, I said, I'm concerned it's a little lean on the top, but again, we weren't in good testing environments to check that out. Fast forward to race day, and it seemed okay in practice, maybe a little bit lean, still not 100% sure. I should have done a plug check at that time. The plug was pretty new. I should have pulled it out. I should have checked it after practice to just make sure, and I didn't do that, and that's on me. He went into the heat race, and about lap 3, he said it started to lose power. And coming around at turn 2 on the last lap of the heat race, it locked up on him. And unfortunately, he was in first when that happened, and then coasted over to the side, and then everyone ran past him and finished the race without him. But she locked up, and the piston was stuck. So we pushed off the track and went back to the pits and figured out that the piston was stuck at the top. I was hoping she would break free and we can continue on. I'm glad that she decided not to let go and let us do that, because with what was wrong, we would have grenaded the rest of the motor. So piston was stuck up at the top and she didn't let go, so we parked her and he ran the 200X in both the 200 class and the open class, and brought her home and took her apart. And it's true that she leaned out and the plug showed that she was pretty lean, not so lean that I'd be concerned about grenading, but she was pretty lean. And so hang with us as we disassemble her and find out exactly what happened and show you the carnage that we found and talk about what we're going to do about it and get her ready to ride another day. So thank you for watching, and enjoy the disassembly and the carnage, and until next time when we get parts in and put her back together.
If you would like to see the race where the motor let go, it'll be at the end of this video.
So these are just have to take the washers off real fast before I dump them. Holy crap. How's the head look?
A little beat.
Not too bad though. a good design for keeping them on, but it's literally not allowing springs to go packs. Let's see. Bend the spring close.
Make sure any pipe doesn't fall, please.
Yeah.
Down.
There is no down, this is annoying.
Hold the stand so it doesn't tip over.
Holding stand. Thank you. Clear. What is that?
Eagle. Bald eagle.
Bald eagle singing a song?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. There he is again. Don't let buttons out for a little while. Should be eagle food.
I never heard him do anything but screech. Didn't know they could sing a song.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I just want to slide out. Thanks. I think I might take the slide off so we don't damage it.
Sure.
Just put it somewhere convenient. Rude. Slippery. Do you want, coolant hose disconnected from the, cylinder or from the?
What now?
Do you want it disconnected from the?
This
cylinder?
hose comes completely off, so it's out of the way completely, so it's not interfering. So undo it here, undo there.
I just didn't know if you wanted it.
Yeah, off both. Actually, no, just leave it just connected down there, yep, and it'll leave it here, yeah.
I don't know if it would interfere. I'm gonna leave the intake on.
Yeah.
I don't really wanna. I mean, I'm gonna check out the reeds and make sure they're okay, but I'll pull it. That is a lot of material.
This is.
Couple inches. Can you hold the bike?
Where's the other ratchet? Yeah, the other ratchet.
Can you hold the bike?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see where we should just move all the way out of the way.
Sure.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't know if this junk's gonna come off there.
With the motor in place? I don't think so.
No, I'm saying we did,
In general?
we'll just keep them.
I don't think it's gonna come off.
I don't think we get one again at all.
What do you think the material is made out of?
What?
It's on top. What do you think it is? Sleep? Or piston? Rings? Doesn't look like rings.
Steel.
Interesting. Some magnetic and some not. That's actually a good idea though, so we don't have to drop that down anymore. I should probably get the rest off with some tape. That way we don't risk dropping it anywhere. Wow. This guy wants it. You touch the whole way up.
This is what we're talking about right here. Okay.
Maybe if the rubber mallet back where it was and hit it to the rubber mallet with the deadbolt. You see if it does anything. Oh, it's going down. You're about out of the rubber mallet is hitting the landing now. But it is working, just your rubber mallet got too fat. There's a way to position it. Let me see it now. Maybe get stuck. He's like, I need a smaller rubber mallet. Or I guess you could put the deadbolt probably in there. What about this way? Use the wood handle.
Yeah. Alright, mom and dad center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, how's the cylinder look?
Well, I can't really feel anything, but I see stuff. Oh, no, I can feel it.
I figured it was gonna screw.
Yeah, it's great. Let's see how bad it is.
Maybe just up against the hoses. Do you want me to pull the hoses off?
No.
Okay. Give me another hand. This fits in the backbone.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, she's pretty. That's not a ring. It is a piece of something else.
Oh,
Piece of skirt?
nope,
What is it?
crank's done.
Oh. Oh, is she pretty? But what is this piece?
Bearing.
Crank bearing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Crank's done.
So,
And then new crank, new piston, and it looks like the cylinder might be.
Okay.
Well, first off, your rod bearing is not supposed to wiggle like that, nor is it supposed to wiggle like that.
Move it all the directions. It's pretty. It's not supposed to have any of that. It's just the only movement it's supposed to have is when the crank is spinning around. So if you can twist it
Well, look at all the heat.
and rattle it and
There's a lot of heat.
well, and then there's like these pieces on the side that are not lined up where they're supposed to be either. Right there, right here. Trying to get it right there. That doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like either. I don't know if I have easy access to my other crank to show what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so that, no matter what the rest of it is, you can't run it like that. There's,
No, it's locked
Yeah.
up. Look, and look, there's pieces of bearing stuck to the piston.
right. Okay, hold on.
there's a lot of stuff that we will, depending on the bike, we'll just freshen it up and send it back out. You know, the piston's bad, but if you were poor, could you clean it up and hone the cylinder and reuse it? Yeah. Would it make good power? No. Re-ring it, hone it, put it back together. It would run. Wouldn't be at its top power, but you could do it. But a crank like that is not something that you can just put back together. It doesn't work like that. You're gonna have more carnage running a crank that is toast. So while you can get away with taking shortcuts and being cheap if you don't have a lot of money in areas, that's not one of them. And your cheapest way to get a new crank, if you're strapped on cash, is gonna be to use one that you have in another bike that works, or find a friend who's got one that they don't need or something like that. But for racing application, we're probably gonna seek out a new crank just because we're hard on stuff for racing, this bike in particular. But I do have another one. It just is another rod length for this motor. So anyway, so that's where we're at with this.